What is up, guys? It's the Karmic DF from TikTok, back to you again with another video. This time, this is on if you have been outgrowing friends, outgrowing relationships, outgrowing family, and you are overwhelmed, a little bit nervous, what comes next, why is this happening to me, then this is the video for you. My goal here is to bridge spirituality with psychology so that we can understand at a fundamental level why this is happening, so that we don't have to be so scared. We can move through it knowing that we are going to get to where we need to go and why this is happening for us instead of happening to us. So if you have been losing an insane amount of so-called friends, if you realize that you are outgrowing so many different people, places, etc., then this is definitely the video for you. I hope that you enjoy this. Please like, comment other videos that you'd like to see as well down below, and please subscribe. As always, let's get into it. So as maybe a light worker, a spiritual person of any form, whatever you like to label yourself, you may know that as we ascend, that we are no longer a vibrational match to people that are not trying to follow. But the problem is we have this kind of dissonance between our head and our heart, where we're like, okay, maybe intuitively it makes sense, but in my brain I'm going a little bit chaotic here because I don't really fully understand why this is happening. I know that it's meant to happen, but I don't understand the psychology behind it. And so we tend to get wrapped up in, oh my God, we're outgrowing these people. Now we're going to be alone. Now we're not going to have support. But what's really happening is we are changing fundamentally who we are, right? Because we've decided to take on that work. We have decided to say to ourselves, enough is enough. We don't want to be unhappy anymore. And we've reached this point in our life where you have two options, right? We're going to be uncomfortable either way. And I tell this to my clients all the time when they're trying to make hard decisions. You're going to be uncomfortable in complacency, right? You're going to be uncomfortable in something that you already know makes you miserable. Think about something right now that you can't stand, and then imagine that 5 years from now that's still in your life, like right, like But a lot of us, not so much the spiritual people because we're waking up to it, but a lot of people will spend their entire lives in that complacency because they are afraid to take that leap. And so we've decided to take that leap. And the problem with, and it's not necessarily a problem, it's just how people grow different, and this is how we grow apart, and this is why some people are meant to be chapters instead of the whole book. When we grow and we realize where our faults are, when we can go, what am I doing? What is it that I can fix? Instead of pointing fingers, playing the blame game like we've been conditioned to do, right? We see this so big in society. Politics is a great example. No, you, no, you. And it's very, I'm going to butcher this word. It's the dichotomy of, black and white, when life itself is really this gray area. And so we have decided to go, I don't have to be miserable. I don't have to be in these relationships that don't make me happy. I don't have to do this job that doesn't make me happy. I know, intuitively know, that there's something more out there for me that I deserve, and I want to go and I want to follow that. So now that you've decided enough is enough, I'd rather be uncomfortable getting new in my life than be uncomfortable with what's already familiar to me, what my brain thinks is right. Yet our brain, which I've said in numerous videos, is simply the accumulation of all of our learned experiences of the world around us. So our brain kind of holds us back because it only gives us what it already knows. What it doesn't know, it fears, and that comes from the biological standpoint, right? Because there was a time where we had to be more primal. Nowadays, it's not like that. And so now we're going, okay, well, I want more, so I'm going to go after more. And the reason that we end up no longer being a vibrational match, which is accurate, I don't know why I did the fingers, but the reason that that's happening is because when you, think of a friend group, for example, right? You're in a friend group and let's say you party a lot. I'll just give my own story, screw it. I used to be, if anybody knows my story, I was an alcoholic, almost 4 years sober, go me. But I realized one day that just didn't sit right with me. I knew that I wanted more for my life. And that's not to judge anybody that needs to go out and, to each their own. we all have our own paths, and we need to stop comparing. This is why we fight so much. This is why we think everything is a slight and an attack, because we see the world as black and white and there can't be gray area. We can't agree to disagree anymore. Like, I'm going to show my age here, but back in civics class, we used to argue about pro-life, pro-choice, and at the end of the day, we shook hands and we moved on. But now we live in this very polarizing society where it's like, you have to be like me or you're a threat, because it's just become so black and white. We've become so lost from realizing that we are all connected. And so when we decide that we want better for ourselves, going back to that group, people will see that as a slight. They will take that as a personal attack. They will think that you think you're better than them. They will project their own insecurities onto you, and not to, you know, minimize what they're feeling, because I also want you to remember that at one point you were probably just like them. Hello, me too. Not judging here. I was the queen of victim mentality. I've said that in a video before. But now that you've removed yourself from that energy, it's kind of hard to, Spirit, help me out. It's kind of like speaking a different language now. You're basically like it, how do I word this in a non, I don't want to offend anybody. It's like if someone that spoke purely Spanish walked into a store and no one spoke Spanish, right? Are you going to get mad at the guy who speaks Spanish? You're going to get a jerk that's probably going to be mad, of course. But in general, you guys just speak different languages. It's that simple. Well, unfortunately, due to society and this need to feel like you're a part of something, but we've screwed it up in how it's supposed to work, because we've all masked to try to fit in instead of figured out who we are so that we can figure out who our real cliques are. We've kind of lost sight of how to integrate all of that together to figure out who's right for us and who's wrong for us. And that doesn't necessarily mean that there's anything wrong with anyone that is in any stage of their life. Just like I used to be the queen of victim mentality because I was in a lot of pain and I was hurting, I would project onto people that were healthier, of course, because I saw that as a slight. You know what I mean? If anybody ever had advice to give me, but they gave it to me in the wrong tone, or I wasn't ready to hear it, then I would feel attacked. And so then I would feel the need to attack back because I already didn't feel good within myself. And so now that you're doing the work, the roles have been reversed. So now you are not the one that's in victim mentality mindset. You are the one that's like, I'm going to climb this mountain no matter how hard it is. And everybody else that feels that they can't do it, even though everyone is capable of doing it, but they feel that they can't, see you now as kind of a threat. And that could be consciously or subconsciously, but either way, the more you move up, the more you realize that you don't want to settle for less than you deserve, the more that the people that are angry but don't want to make that leap of faith are going to project onto you because they don't want to take that chance. And so what you have to understand above all else is that it's not personal. It's simply that you've outgrown each other and they, for some reason, feel that they can't do what it is that we've done. And that's why we tend to outgrow these people. This is why we feel like, you know, this is why we cry, we grieve, we mourn these people, because we want to take them with us, right? We want to teach them our ways. We want to make them understand, like, hey, you don't have to be angry anymore. You don't have to be sad anymore. You don't have to be complacent anymore. Like, look, I've done it. You can do it too. But Spirit, I don't know if anybody's seen this movie. I highly recommend it. It's on Disney Plus. It's called Free Guy. But it's like, or similar to The Matrix. Everybody's seen The Matrix, right? Like, once you put the glasses on, you can't take them off. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee the truth. Once you realize that you've settled for relationships that didn't give you anything, and you realize that you were over giving and they weren't giving you back, like I'm seeing for my tarot readers, I'm seeing like the Six of Pentacles in my head, where it's like you've now realized that even relationships should be mutually beneficial. You've started to realize your own self-worth. And if you have self-worth, and if you realize that you deserve and own your boundaries, then you are going to naturally trigger someone who doesn't feel like they can do the same. So honestly, it is quite simple, but it hurts, and it's the reality of life. I want you to think about times when you were in a dark place and you couldn't hear people that wanted to help you. The roles have switched, and now, unfortunately, the people that you love are not meant to go on to the next chapter of your life. And that's not a reflection on you. It's that you had the strength to decide that despite the world around us, I choose myself, and I choose to follow my heart, and I choose more than what this monotonous lifestyle that I've been continuously settling for just isn't good enough. I know that I can accomplish more. I know that I'm meant for more. I know that I can achieve more. And that's the first step. And a lot of people do know that, but not many are willing to take that leap of faith. And they can have good reasons, they can have BS reasons. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, that's why there's that disconnect there. We always, like I said, I'll bring it back to the beginning, and then that'll be the end of this video. It is the vibration. We don't match anymore. You're moving up. That doesn't mean that these people are beneath you. It simply means that they're still in their pain and they don't know how to get out of it yet, and we have to send them love and compassion from a distance. Forgive for yourself, but not forgive for them, especially if it was toxic. But just begin to understand that, psychologically speaking, you guys just don't make sense anymore. And it is a scary thing, because then what? Do we find new friends? How do we make new friends? But you're doing this self-care journey where you're figuring out who you are, what you want, what you don't want, what you're willing to settle and not settle for. Hopefully you're willing to settle for nothing. So you'll begin to attract what it is that you are giving off. And so even though it is hard to lose friends, relationships, even family members, the universe will always replace. You will always find people that do match you now. I have met already new friends that make more sense to me now, that understand me in a way that no one's ever really understood me. But I don't think that I would have ever been open to them had I not have been open to healing myself first. And that's where it starts. And a lot of people don't feel like they have the strength to do it. And they live in a society that tells them don't do it, right? Be a slave to the machine. Don't love yourself. Buy this stuff to fix yourself. Don't actually take care of yourself. Everything that is actually beneficial to you is woo-woo, and everything else is science. And it's just, we live in an upside down world, and it is what it is. But to wrap this up, you're going to grow out of people, and the more that you want to evolve, the more you're going to grow out of people, and it's going to be a lonely experience. It's going to be a lonely journey, but as long as you keep going back home to yourself, keep figuring out who you are. What do I like now? Like, I personally just got out of my own ego death, where I had to just get rid of everything that didn't serve me anymore. It hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was just like, wow, I didn't realize how much I was holding myself back. And this is after over 3 years of me doing spiritual work, got hit with another level. So once you think you got it, you probably got more work to do, because we are forever learning and growing. And that is the beauty of life. So don't harp too hard on the people that unfortunately aren't willing to take that leap of faith with you. It sucks. And I keep hearing the song Hater Wish You Well. I don't know why. I mean, I could kind of see it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe someone that doesn't like me is watching this video, because I keep hearing the song Hater Wish You Well, but I got clientele. I love that song. But anyway, don't grieve them, for sure. Grieve the relationships that you've lost. That is very valid. It feels as painful as a death. I'm not gonna lie. Losing the friends that I've lost, the relationships that I've lost, where there were people that I was chasing after and begging them to see me, and then one day I had to wake up and realize they don't see me because they don't get it. They just don't get it. They're not where I'm at, and that's okay. That is their life path to go towards. But my path is completely different, and that's okay. It doesn't mean we have to hate each other. It doesn't mean that we have to judge. It doesn't mean we have to be jealous. Unfortunately, you're going to deal with that. But it just means that you yourself are moving forward into something bigger and better. Be proud of yourself and keep going forward, and keep promising yourself that I'm not going to settle, and I know that there's more for me. And watch that trickle in, because you are a vibrational match to what you want. I want you to think about all the times where, like, those awful self-fulfilling prophecies where you're like, all I ever attract is people that cheat. And then sure enough, you attracted someone that cheated, right? Because you attract what you put out there. So if you want a good life, then you have to already embody that good life. And if you have friends, family, lovers that don't want to do the work, then they are going to see you as a threat. They're going to be jealous. They're going to project their wounds onto you. They're going to subconsciously or consciously want to keep you small, out of fear of abandonment, out of fear of rejection. And remember that there might have been a time where you used to be there. So try not to hold judgment unless they're cruel to you. Then obviously hold your own, hold your boundaries. But understand that spirituality and psychology go together hand in hand. We've just never really seen it get put together. But that's my goal with this channel moving forward, is that even though this is a spiritual path, there is psychology behind this to help you understand what's going on, so that you don't take things personal, so that you don't think that there's something wrong with you for deciding to choose yourself. You are choosing the path that makes the most sense to you. And unfortunately, similar to, outgrowing people that, if you're not in high school anymore, outgrowing people in high school because you're no longer in high school, you don't have that centerpiece in common, you're going to continuously outgrow people as you climb the ladder to reach whatever level it is that you want to reach to be the best version of yourself. Not everybody's going to be willing to do that same amount of work. It takes a lot of pain. It takes a lot of self-realization. It takes saying, oh, hey, it's me. I'm the problem. Oh, hey, I didn't see that before. And now I have to reel it in and be like, where did I let myself down? Where did I go wrong in the sense of, it's not necessarily going wrong, it's just more so we had things to learn and now it's time to move forward. Don't beat yourself up for it. Don't think there's something wrong with you, and don't try and compare, and please do not try and take people up with you that so clearly do not want to hear it and don't want to change, because it'll only hurt you more. So I'm going to end the video at this. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that I helped bridge the gap for you guys. Like I said, if you take anything from this, know that it's not personal. Some people are just simply meant for chapters. They're not meant for the whole game, because they might just have a different story than your own, and that's okay too. And you will meet the people that make sense to you when it's time. So keep doing that work, and keep believing in yourself, and keep pushing, and keep pouring into yourself, and realizing that you deserve what it is that you give so freely to others. And know that it'll come back to you tenfold, so long as you believe in it the way you used to believe in the negative things, in the negative self-fulfilling prophecies. Flip the script and watch it change for your best interest instead of the other way around. I'm going to leave it at that. I love you guys so much. Keep healing, keep ascending. Please know that the work that you do causes a ripple effect. It helps everybody so much. You have no idea. The simplest thing, just smiling at someone at a grocery store, being kind to someone at a checkout. You know that that stuff makes a difference. So you doing the work on yourself, as another light worker, I personally thank you. I thank you for making that effort. I'm proud of you. Keep going. Keep making it your mission to be the best version of yourself, to inspire those around you, and to have a life that's worth living. Life was not meant to be painful. It was not meant to be just monotony and complacency and misery. It's not that. It's joy, it's freedom, it's contentment, it's peace, it's love, it's community. But when you're masking who you really are to fit in, instead of deciding that I'm going to pull off all those layers, figure out who I truly am, and maybe I don't fit in the box that society labeled for me, but I want to be who I'm meant to be, and so I'm going to climb that ladder, own that, be who you're meant to be, and just ride the wave, and know that the universe will catch you, because as you've seen that you've attracted negative when you were negative, you will attract the positive when you continue to do and be positive. I love you guys so much, as always, and I will see you in the next video.